We'll call this meeting to order with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Cole's not here. Perfect. Roll call, please.
Mayor Taylor?
Here.
Councilor Boland?
Here.
Councilor Berger?
Here.
Councilor Crompton?
Here.
Councilor Culp?
Here.
Councilor Schaefer?
Here.
Councilor Zimmerman? Roll call is complete, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. The first announcement I have is the City of Libby was awarded a plaque from the General of the Montana National Guard for our help with them in their water treatment system and helping with some resources when they had some problems at the Deer Lodge State Prison, and it'll be on display here at City Hall. And that was on January 27th. And other than that, I don't have any other further announcements.
I have an announcement.
Yes.
Planning and zoning will meet on Monday the 23rd at 6 p.m. Also, turkeys. Wildlife will meet on Monday the 16th at 2.
Perfect. Any other announcements?
Cemetery and Parks Committee will be meeting Friday at 3:30 here.
Friday, 3:30. Perfect. Anything else? Perfect. Well, we'll move on to department head reports. The city administrator.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Council. I'll start out with the sewer plant. We had a startup meeting for the preliminary engineering report, and what for the new council members, that's when we hire engineers to come in for our entire sewer system, and they assess the health of the system. Once they assess the health of the system, what they do is they figure out, working with me, we figure out the priorities and how we can break the projects down into basic $1 million grant sections, so that we can go out and start scheduling repairs, and so we can get the matching funds built up on that. So we had our startup meeting, and then we had our first bi-weekly meeting. That's going really well. One of the things that we did identify that we want is, I got Andy, our city engineer, he's finding rental flow meters, because we want actual data on how much is flowing through what pipes. So Andy engineered out where we have to put that model, so we're going to have about 3 months worth of rental on that. It's going to cost us a few thousand, but the knowledge that we're going to gain from it's going to be well worth it for future growth and what we need to fix and repair on that. In other news, we're still waiting on the extension from the NRDP grant before we go out to bid for the spoils pile. The spoils pile is up there at the biathlon ski course. It was remnants from when they built the dam 10 years ago. The NRDP came out and gave us a grant for $275,000 for the engineering and construction of a parking lot that was approved by the council. We completed the first part, so now we'll go out for bid with the remaining funds. And as long as it comes in underneath that money, we'll go ahead and award that project out. If not, we can come back to the council and see if they'd like to add funds from the community development fund or how they'd like to get that. Phase 2 of Spruce Street was completed, except for a lengthy list of discrepancies that was going on. We had Mayor Taylor, Street Supervisor Justin, and I were out there the other day looking over everything, and Mike Fraser, the former city engineer, put together a nice list, and he sent that out to the contractor now, so we're going to get agreements on that. Everybody's always wondering, well, what do you do if they're late? Well, we are imposing different fines and different things on that to make sure the city's made whole from that project. The city did receive an application for the newly created deputy city administrator position. I'll be getting with the mayor, and he'll line up the interview time, and we'll get that done and see what happens with that. So to the water, the lower reservoir is looking really empty. I hope to get another update out tomorrow. We're still just dewatering it now because we're working with the engineer to make sure we have a really good plan set up for the coffer dam that's going to be going in. We still have to build that coffer dam to build the head pressure up, or the water depth on the one side of the reservoir up a couple feet, so that we can operate our system as designed. With removing the sedimentation, it's revealing a lot of other issues that we thought were there, but now we can actually dig it out, and Justin was out there and seen some gapping today. The good thing is that's all part of this disaster recovery that we'll be looking at, so we'll have more information once we can get in there with the core samples. We'll be going out for RFQs coming up here in the next couple weeks. Part of the problem we're also having with the lower reservoir is the hauling in and out of the sediment right now, or hauling the sediment out. We already identified that Cabinet Heights Road is going to need help. So we got all the pictures, and Justin's been watching that as a street supervisor on that one. But it was brought to our attention that the county is going to have some issues with Shaughnessy Hill, because spring breakup's going to be coming here pretty soon, and we can't helicopter it in, so there's no way but to drive on that road. So I had a meeting with Jerry Ray today and ER Assist. Since the county owns that road, we can't take responsibility or do anything for it. So we're going to work with them. They went out and photographed the road. They're taking all the samples. And then after we're getting done, they'll go out there and test it again, and that would be put as part of the disaster recovery cost. So the biggest thing that we've hit as a hurdle is what's going to happen with funding. Everybody knows that the emergency declaration was signed by President Trump, and what that allowed is our federal partners to come in, the Army Corps of Engineers, Montana DES, and everybody came in. So we're waiting now. What went to the president now, after we got all the preliminary costs together, was a disaster response declaration. If the president signs that, we get reimbursed for everything we're doing now and for repairing or replacing that wall. But if it doesn't, then where are we going to be at? So what we've been doing is looking at different avenues. Montana DES does have multi-million-dollar funds that can get released, and I have a meeting tomorrow morning with them concerning that, and the county's going to start pushing it also. Because what we'd like to do is say, hey, can you give us that money now? If the DR gets approved, then we just reimburse the fund. But if not, then we're already made whole, and everything will be golden. And we're not sure if that's going to be legal, so I had a long meeting with the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development. It's called Rural Developments and Loans. So we have to look at another avenue just in case the DR doesn't get approved. So what that meeting did was talking to them was they could give us a $600,000 grant, get more paperwork to them, and a $2 million loan, 75% of that which would be granted right off. I asked, well, why can't we just do a cash match? That's why we have cash. And they said part of their program is we have to borrow the money, but there's no repayment deadline or any penalties for that. So that's what we're looking at doing now, is going down that avenue. And then if the president signs it, we just stop that process and it goes away. But if he signs it later on and we've already went through this process, we'll just be repaid and we'll just unwind it. But out of an air of caution to make sure that we have that emergency funding coming in, I'll be asking, I've already asked the mayor this weekend, we had a meeting, to go forward and have the council approve that. And do you have anything on that, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, we're going to have a meeting this Thursday at 6:30 to discuss those options and what we have going on with that, and the spirit of transparency, so that the council's well aware of what's going on and everyone's up front with what we're doing.
Okay, and Leanne, you can get that one posted
Yeah.
out. So that's where we're sitting at right now, and hopefully I'll have more information tomorrow on the Montana DES funding. And it's nothing that we want to do, but we didn't want to get hit by a disaster either, so that's kind of the avenue. We're trying to set up 3 different routes just to make sure that we're made whole for the disaster. And if there's no question, that's my report, Mr. Mayor and Council.
Street Supervisor.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Month of January, so we had a cemetery. We had 1 cremation and 2 full burials. We made some fence repairs at Fireman's Park and the city water department shop over on Cedar Street due to damage from the windstorm. We've been doing some jetting and camera work again, this time on City Service Road for future water main extension. We had 6 mornings of early call-in for de-icing around town. We had 4 days of water shutoffs. We cleared ice and snow from the upper Flower Creek Dam, so that decking up there, the platform, we try to keep that clear, so if we have to go up there and do any activities or for people to go in and monitor, etc. We had 1 hydrant repair on 2nd in Nevada that was due to being hit by a vehicle. We have not been able to find out who or what exactly happened there. We do know it was a vehicle. Speed signs were installed. You've probably seen one on Louisiana and one on Education Way. We had 1 water service line replacement at 1019 Nevada, and that was from the main to the curb stop. That was a property line, so that was a city responsibility. We performed that work. There was also 1 water line replacement into the Western News backside, and that was from curb stop to the structure. Therefore, that's the property owner's responsibility. We did some concrete prep and slab work for the city street shop generator and the splash pad near the ice slicer storage building. Been working on the stop meter list. We've been trying to update that. The meters as they're going out, they have a lifespan on them. Perform detailed maintenance either to the meter, the radio read, or other hardware associated with. As Sam said, sediment haulage from the lower reservoir to the city pit. Started on January 19th. We're hoping to have that wrapped up Wednesday-ish. That's kind of what we're looking at. This rain event that we had just kind of resaturated everything. They're trying to get the water to kind of leach out. They're just kind of commingling it around. Try to get as much water out as they can for transport. The reeds were taken down. That was a coordinated effort with Montana Sky, J.R. Beardsley, excuse me, Sandy Dobeck, and the City Street Department. Had some rolled curb jigs fabbed up along with some forks for the cemetery tractor for packing mats and liners. So this time of year, when the ground gets soft, we lay out mats, displaces the weight, keeps from rutting the cemetery out. So we've just been kind of utilizing our time to make things better for when we do these activities. Did some water shop cleanup, organizing an inventory. We also did some of that at the cemetery shed, cleaned a lot of stuff out of there, organized that. We had 1 deceased deer. We also had 1 10-inch water main repair on 6th Street. The hole in that main, if you want to see it, it's over there in the stand in the far corner. It was about thumb hole sized. And we had lots of late night and early morning call-outs for getting water back online through the SED basin. So we had that, those cold temps. That did nobody any favors. We had intake screen to the froze over, so I had to get out there and scrape that off. We had freezing lines where they were pumping, utilizing the pumps. The water lines are freezing. And the water plant operator, street department staff, and no excavation crews have been dealing with and working through all of that and dealing with what Mother Nature's been throwing at us. So I'm making it a challenge at times. Lots of hydrant flushing and sampling testing has been done recently. The weather is also, I mean, it's allowed us to do a lot of sweeping this time of year, which is kind of not really a normal activity that we do this time of year, but it's allowed us to go out, not having to use water. We already got moisture on the ground, so we've been trying to scrub everything up as far as sediment, debris left over from the windstorm, etc. Been doing a lot of pothole patching. This time of year, a lot of unraveling. Stuff is freeze and thaw events is showing its age. The asphalt. We're also been replacing stop sign panels due to fading and discoloration. And we've had lots of maintenance activities in the shop. Jeff Best, our street shop mechanic, or our city mechanic, he does an extremely great job. Been very busy. We're lucky to have him and his knowledge that he brings. He works very hard to keep our stuff up and keeping it safe and proper to be on the streets. We had this last Saturday we had a stop sign on 5th and Dakota. It was damaged due to an automobile accident. We got that replaced, and a damage report was put together and turned over to the Libby Police Department. That was my report. Mr. Mayor and Council, have any questions?
Thank you for all the hard work.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
You're welcome.
Police Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I give it to the street crew. They've been super busy, and we're really grateful for all their hard work. January, we had 285 cases, compared to last year's 194. We had 2 assaults, 6 disturbances, 5 threatening calls, 3 thefts, 1 mental health call, 22 public assists, 7 juvenile problems, 8 walkthroughs, 4 city ordinances, 24 suspicious people or vehicles, 9 crashes, 5 DUIs or drug cases, 145 traffic stops, and an additional 51 agency assists that don't fall into those numbers. But looking back through our numbers, one of the fun things that we found was over 40% of our contacts with the public are all self-initiated. They're not us being called somewhere, but the officers going out and looking for work to do. This time of year, we tend to see people driving less, getting out and about less and less and less. And so it's my officers staying busy as they can, going out and finding things to do to make our community a little safer. Obviously, we've got our new street signs up, our radar speed signs on Louisiana and Education Way. I need 2 guesses, though, on how many cars pass by those signs in 1 week. How many signs go northbound on Louisiana from Highway 2, northbound on Louisiana towards the hospital?
4,000.
4,000? One more.
6,000.
6,000? Okay. In 1 week, 14,635 cars go northbound on Louisiana. In almost 3 weeks, it's not even 3 weeks yet, over 40,000 cars have gone northbound on that road. So obviously we've gotten a lot more traffic through that area than we anticipated. And so that's great information for us. Hopefully we can use it in conjunction with the street department to find some extra funding to repair those roads or build them up some more. As well as, so Education Way, we have 5,285 cars going towards the elementary school in 1 week. So we have plenty of people out and about driving. So it's good that we've got this. We can use these tools to, again, find some more funding to make our city even better. This morning I met with the Senator Sheehy and his management team and starting a grant where we can get a large chunk of funds to replace some of our patrol cars, as well as our camera system. So the camera system alone is a $70,000 grant we've been working on. So they're willing to help us out with that, as well as replace up to our entire fleet. So we can get 6 cars from them if we really push hard for that. So that's something I'll be working with on the next couple weeks. The request window closes the first week of March. So once we get a little bit closer, then I will be petitioning some approval to send that request out. Also, this past couple of weeks, we reformed the DUI task force. That kind of fell away due to some issues it was having. So we reached out to the state, figured out the best practices, and we were able to bring that forward again. And now it's established properly, which will then allow us access to some additional funds for equipment, as well as grant money for shifts. So we can do some more DUI emphasis shifts. So super excited about that. Any questions?
Question, Council? Thank you, Chief. Clerk Treasurer.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Council. But I just got back from vacation, so I've been trying to scramble to get stuff together this last couple days that I've been here. But prior to that, and still currently, we're still keeping track of all the hours and all the equipment and everything, so we can submit it to ER Assist, so we can keep track of that for the FEMA funding. And so that's where we are with that part of it. And then This is, of course, always the busiest time of the year, the very end of the year. I've gotten all the W-2s out. Those went out last month. And everything's been submitted to Social Security Administration in Montana for the W-2s. So those have all been submitted. And then all the 1099s and all the electronic filing I have to do with that. And then along with the end of the year, it also, quarterlies were due. So I've got all the 941s out, all the workers' comp, all the unemployment and everything. It was like a mad scramble the last few days. And that's what I have.
Perfect.
Vacation for coming back.
Yes, it does. I do not believe any of the committees met this last month because we just re-signed committee assignments at the last council meeting. So we should have some reports, it sounds like, at the next council meeting. That moves us on to public comments on non-agenda items. This is an opportunity for the public to offer comments related to issues that are not currently on the agenda that the council has jurisdiction over. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comments? Mr. Beck.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council, and clerk. Yeah. 3 minutes is a tough one for this one, but I have to submit a proposed resolution, kind of how it would look. This comes from how it would work, what I'm about ready to talk about. Briefly, City Council has the ability to form under Montana Code 2-2-144, 5A and 5B. You guys can do it today. You can make your own ethics committee under that law. It's very, very simple, and so I brought like a sample resolution for it. And I respectfully request that you guys do this for the future of Libby. This, what I'm asking for is not a call to have an instant approval, but just deliberate the merits of the law. Deliberate the merits of the law that the people see it. You guys can define the scope, appoint volunteers, secure modest funding for this ethics committee. It's your agenda, it's your voice to bring this about, and you know, it's our town. And the best part about it is the committee, the Commission for Government Study Commission in Libby, has brought up very few issues, very, very few. And all those issues can be done by the council. You know, all the little changes and amendments can be done by the council because you're the council, you're the mayor. It'd be great to see you guys lean forward on this and not have the voters deal with it in November. The few items we have to give you can be resolved if you like it, and then there's no vote in November. There's nothing. So, Mr. Mayor, please consider at least bring it up on your agenda for discussion. Thank you.
Any other public comment on non-agenda items? Mr. Orr.
Honorable Mayor and Council, I'm D.C. Orr. I reside at 1117 Nevada Avenue. I am on that study commission with Vince, and early on we were not allowed to give any committee reports to this body. I would sure like to see someone on that side of the table make a motion to hear committee reports from the study commission, so you guys are up to speed on what we're doing, especially some of the newer members who haven't been able to keep up with what's going on. We have a real problem with misinformation and disinformation, and I'd like you guys to hear it directly from us, what we're doing. Ethan Culp is on the commission as our ex officio member. The mayor did a year on the commission as ex officio, which now the county attorney is saying that was a year of criminal activity. And Mr. Mayor, I apologize that you got caught up in that. I don't believe that we were involved in any criminal activity. Wednesday we do have a meeting at 10 o'clock, and we will be answering the county attorney's allegations. We will clarify all that. It may take a while because we're going to have to send some interrogatories to her to find out where she was getting her information and if her information is in any way true and correct. So there'll be some back and forth there before we get resolution of the letter that she wrote and sandbagged us with at last Wednesday's meeting. But it is something we will ultimately clear up. I expect this week that I will get an apology out to, in a letter to the editor, to the people of Libby, because ultimately that's who we work for. We don't work for you guys, but we want to keep you guys up to speed on what we're doing. We were put in place by the electorate, the same people that put you in place, and we work for the people. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, sir. Any other public comment? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Nobody can hear you online unless you're up there. I apologize.
They're fairly friendly.
Are they civilized?
Yeah.
Well, they probably already warned some of them in the water system what I was going to do. I'm here because I do not like the turkeys.
Could you please state your name and address, please?
Really? You want to know where I live? I live on the famous Louisiana that has all the traffic, but I live up on the other end, and there's a lot of traffic up there, too.
And what was your name?
Plus Loretta Jones.
Perfect, thank you.
Anyway, I told people I'm going to come down and see what can be done. 25 turkeys shot is not even going to make a dent in one hen, because they have 2 batches sometimes. Anyway, they are messy, and the males are doing their thing already, so guess what? We're going to have more. I've counted as many as 500 going by my house. The bombers come in about 8:30 in the morning, come down off South Libby Hill. I'm just unhappy with the turkey situation, and I don't want to be old McDonald's farm. Plus the deer. The rabbits don't bother me, but the turkeys bother me because they're messy. Okay? Do you have any solutions, you guys?
There is a committee that's meeting next.
Where?
When did you say again?
Monday the 16th at 2.
2 p.m.
Monday the 16th at 2 p.m.
We're here?
Yes. Thank you.
And you're going to talk about the turkey problem?
We are.
16th at 2 p.m. Okay. Anyway, I got up in front here.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
You can round them all
Any
up.
other public comment?
Set them up with the grizzly
Any
bears.
public comment online? I'm sure we're not missing anybody
I
today.
tried hitting one on our side.
Perfect, we'll move on to new business. We have a lore presentation. Tabitha?
Yes, I'm trying to share my screen. I don't know if I can share it, Nan. It's not letting me share it. See if I can do that.
Is it my end or your end?
No, it's my end. It's a brand new computer, so sorry. Sorry.
Well, we tried.
Okay, well, we'll just go that way. Apologize for technical difficulties. My name is Tabitha Beargoods. I'm with the Lore Foundation at 417 Mineral Avenue, Suite 6. And the last time I was here to get a grant approved, Brian made a great point that he wasn't exactly sure of our parameters, and I thought it was a great time to explain the Lore Foundation to the council, since there are some new faces, and talk about what we've done in the past. Some of the other communities have a yearly update to the council, and I'm absolutely open to that. But for now, I'll just tell you where we are through supporting Libby. So, sure, now that's not going to work. There we go. What is the Lore Foundation? So we are a private family foundation. What that means is that we have a single benefactor. Our money that we provide to the community comes from our founder. We don't have to take and get fundraising. We don't get grants from the government that redistributes the funds. We simply have funds from a private benefactor, Amy Weiss and Ed Harmillo, and they provide the funding to the communities that Lore works in. Some details about Lore. So Lore has actually worked in Montana since 2014. When they first started working in Montana, they did very large grants, so $500,000, $750,000 grants. Some of the things that we worked on in Montana included the Sealy Lakes Utilities Program or the Thompson Falls Walking Path. Those were part of the projects that were funded by Lore. They changed the way they work about 6 or 7 years ago and decided to work one community at a time in the building. That provided the ability to really allow listening to happen. It allowed the opportunity for individuals that had a project that wasn't a grand walking path, but maybe a simple picnic table that people could meet at. It provided that opportunity for listening. So in Libby, that meant they opened in 2022. They hire locally. I'm a Libby local. And my job is to listen to the community, find out what they're prioritizing, and see how we can help support. So we fund in 8 elements. Those elements are health, housing, transportation, water, engagement, environment, economy, and education, which is a really great way to just say that we've got a very broad way to fund. It is 100% local led. I do not have ideas. If I did, Lore would not fund them. There is no Lore funding that is Lore directed. The only thing we fund is things that come from locals organically. So they have to come to my office, they have to call me and say, I have an idea, I have a solution, and they just need support for it. So far, there has been 307 approved projects and sponsorships, totaling $2,464,858 to date. Funding in Libby, Lore will continue to fund in Libby until June of 2028. We're very clear about that. We are not leaving tomorrow. There are rumors. We have designated Libby as the Lore site for Montana until 2028. At that time, we'll sunset out of the community, and they will choose a new Montana community. And I'll just stay here and get a different job. We do have a large local budget. This year's budget is $1 million for our community grants and is available to individuals that have solutions that are community-centric. We have 28 assisted opportunities, and what that means is we not only provide Lore funding that we can provide to the community projects, we also assist. So we will help people write grants, we will help nominate people for grants or provide leverage funding for grants. And so far we've done that 28 times, getting an additional $765,328 in community. Oops. Sure, now my button works too good. Sorry, guys. You see, I might put you to work.
I'll do it.
You just go hit the arrow button over.
This one?
Yeah.
No, that was
Just
the
that
wrong
one.
one. Okay.
That one. You want to hit it twice for me?
Okay.
One more. There you go. So we fund community-driven solutions. That means that it has to come from our community. No offense to California, but if someone came to me and said, I moved here a week ago from California and I want to make this change, I would tell them that that is the wrong office to come to. We are community-driven. We connect nonprofits to other funding streams. So that means that if we can't help fund your project, we will try and connect you with people that can. We will find grants that are out there. We participate in direct charitable activities, which means that we provide our office to nonprofits that don't have a brick and mortar. I do a lot of volunteering in the community that is direct charitable activities for the community. We create community connections. So a lot of times people call me and go, hey, I heard you here, you know about this. And if I don't, I try really hard to find them. We share community listening. So sometimes people come and they have the same idea and they've just never talked to each other. So I can usually connect those two people together, and more hands mean lighter work. We do fund sourcing. Every month we provide a list of community funding sources. So we have what we call Lore Helps email. That has about 20 to 30 grant opportunities that we search out that are specifically designed for rural communities. There's no sense in looking for a grant for inner city Chicago when we're applying for Libby, Montana. So we do that research for you. We also sponsor community events. I'll push the button for me. The grant assistance. So obviously the most prevalent is the LORE Community Grant Assistance. There are grants that we help write. So the people come to me, I will help them write the grant for their project through LORE, and then we provide that funding out. It goes through a review process. It is above my pay grade to give you a yes. But we will do the application together, and it's my job to advocate through your grant through the board review. We also provide letters of support, nomination to other funders. A lot of funders, as Sam probably knows, requires a nomination from someone. So that's becoming more and more prevalent as grants become more and more competitive. So we are a foundation that can say, hey, we are making investments in Libby. They are worth the investment, and we nominate groups and communities for other funders. We provide grant writing assistance for grants that are outside of LORE, as well as paying for technical assistance and funding to cover subject matter experts. So the county recently got a technical assistant that was utilized to find funding sources. We also paid for the Libby Parks Department to get a subject matter expert to kind of just get their ideals in order and prioritize their projects. Can I do all that? Let's see if this plays. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to. Okay. Well, I had a really great video for you. We also provide organizations in the community videos, essentially. I mean, a lot of them are looking for volunteers, so we've supported their projects. We then hire a videographer to come out and talk about what the work they're doing in Libby. That provides a digital application that they can share to other funders. LORE guidelines. So we fund community projects, which means we're looking at how the project might benefit the community. No one can come to me, and unfortunately, like in the recent time, I can't fix someone's house that was damaged by the flood. We don't do individual assistance. We help a community project. We don't fund general operations like those that keep the lights on. LORE will sunset in 2028, and we've all seen big funders and things like that come in, and they're great while they're here. And then they sunset, and we're like, how are we going to pay the rent? How are we going to keep up on the building? That sort of thing. So we're looking at sustainable projects that doesn't require any funding going forward, or has funding that is already captured to provide those going forward, so that when we sunset, the deficit they will leave in the community is just my position. That's their goal. We want to help. So even if we can't fund projects, we are here to support you. Whether that means letters, finding other funders, or getting you connected with the right people. Most of our funding takes under 2 weeks. So if anybody's done a grant, you know that that's a fairly quick turnaround. Larger grants take up to 6 weeks, but that's still within a small range. Our grant size is anywhere from $50 to $30,000. I have been asked which one's my favorite, and I do have a soft spot for the kids, so I have to say my favorite one is like a 10-year-old that just wanted picnic tables at the elementary school because she didn't want to play on the playground. That was $140, and we were able to fund that for her. So it really doesn't have to be what we would consider life-changing, but could be considered life-changing for kids that didn't want to play on the playground. So it can be up from as small as $50 up to $30,000. Champions set the time frame within 1 year. We call all the people that bring the grants to us champions. They are championing the projects They are getting the quotes. They are doing the work. Those champions set the time frame. Most of our stuff we keep within a year because we're such a quick funder, and we don't want to leave those strings untethered. Excuse me. There are no long-term reporting requirements. When your grant reaches its term, it's done. We have a final report, and that's the end of it. There's no long-term strings attached. When that term end is over, that's the last you will hear from me about that grant. And you don't have to be a nonprofit to request the funding. We work with a local nonprofit to be a fiscal sponsor that will work with you and your vendors to create a community project and buy the things that you need in order to make that happen so that you don't have tax liability for doing a charitable project. Okay, I think we're almost done, see. So we do support community. Our whole thing when someone comes to me is let's try and buy it local. If it's an extra grand to buy it at the local hardware store, let's spend that extra grand and get it at the local hardware store. We love to see our kids playing. We love to see people having picnic in the parks. Our whole point is quality of life in Libby, not supporting Kalispell to give us quality of life. Now we know that some things can't be bought in Libby, but we do hope that most of our funding is spent in Libby as well. One last one, DC. And this is just a great quote that really speaks to Libby to me. Never doubt a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens that can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. And that's really the point of LORE. It's community-led, it's citizen-led, and it's about what makes quality of life good for Libby, from Libby people. So that's the rundown, very quick, but at least it provides you the opportunity to understand why we're under 30 and those sorts of things. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for all that you do. Is there any public comment about the LORE presentation? Perfect. Thank you. So our next agenda item is approve appointment to the Libby Shade Tree Committee. In front of you should have 4 applications. If you've reviewed those or would like to review those, we can call on whoever's present one at a time and let them speak and give us a little bit about themselves.
And Mayor Taylor, Ann was unfortunately unable to make it.
Yes, I knew that. Thank you. We'll start with Ms. Nelson.
Thank you, Jennifer Nelson. So I was raised in Libby and have a career in forestry, so have a love of trees. And we had a good shade committee for quite a while, but when our chair left, then it's been just kind of a skeleton crew keeping everything together. And so I worked with former Mayor Williams on getting grants so we could replace trees that had died in the city for Arbor Day, and worked with the roads crew, did quite a bit of pruning on my own, but then we also had pruning days, and some of the folks that are going to speak next have been involved with that, and the Justin and the road crew were really good in helping us pick up sticks and get them to the dump for us. And so I just have a love of trees, and I think our city is very much better for the trees that we have. And I think I think it was a couple of weeks ago I spoke and reminded people that, you know, while we had this windstorm, we had even a worse one in '96 and lost a considerable number of trees, which we were able to replace over the years, and that was the previous Shade Tree Committee that did that work. So anyway, I'd like to continue that legacy, and I hope you'll appoint me to the Shade Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Perfect. Thank you. Jeremy Rank. Is Jeremy?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jeremy Rank. I'm a forester with the Department of Natural Resource and Conservation, where the Fisher River meets the Kootenai River. That's where my office is. I lived in Libby since 1995 and left in 2017, just across the river, so I'm not in the city limits anymore. But I'd like to offer my services as a forester and a previously certified arborist. I'm no longer certified, but offer my energy and expertise to the city of Libby.
Any questions? Thank you. Is David here? I won't try to butcher your last name for you.
Hi there, my name is David Koppel. Interested in joining this as a member of the tree board. I currently work for the DNRC Libby unit. I've been working for the DNRC for about 10 years as a wildland firefighter, and my current role is a fire adapted community coordinator, meaning big focus is throughout Lincoln County. How do we make sure that our communities are adapted to wildfire? Tree health is a big component of that, and that's part of why I'm really excited about this tree board. Healthy trees is a safety factor for us. And that's one of the things I hope to hone in and focus on, in addition to just kind of loving our green trees throughout our city. I also have a strong passion for organizing people and for leadership in terms of trying to get tasks accomplished for the better sake of the community.
Perfect. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. So then we had Ann that couldn't make it tonight. And I'm sure you all read her application here. So under our city ordinances 12-44.040 establishing and appointing members of the Shade Tree Committee Tree Board. It's supposed to be 5 members, 3 of which shall be residents of the city of Libby, and 2 which may be residents outside the city of Libby, but in Lincoln County. Mr. Cope has offered to step in as chair of that committee. 4 of those members are to be appointed by the council. So I would, any recommendations?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the appointments of the Libby Shade Tree Committee for David, Jeremy, Ann, Jennifer, and
Second.
Any council discussion? Any public comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Those 4 individuals have been appointed to the Shade Tree Board. Thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to getting together soon. Next item on the agenda is approve the Libby Police Department to apply for a Montana Tourism Grant for a new patrol vehicle. Chief?
Like I'm always coming up to you guys asking for more money. Fortunately, it's not your money I'm asking for. So, the Montana Tourism Grant, so it's called METAP, which is the Montana Emergency Tourism Assistance Program. And it's funded by tourism, and is a grant for $50,000 this year. It's leftover funds from 2025. So they reopened it up because people applied for those funds, and Laura, in their emails, notified me right away, and so with your permission, I'd love to apply for it for the purchase of a new patrol car.
To add to that, the matching funds will come from the capital improvement plan, which was designed for patrol cars as listed for that.
The normal funds that come from this is $75,000. They're only offering $50,000. So with the capital improvement plan and assistance that the city has set up for us, then we just have to add that additional $25,000 to help finish the outfitting of the patrol vehicle.
Any questions? Any public comment? No public comment? I'll call for a motion.
I make a motion to approve the Libby Police Department to apply for the METAP.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There you go, Chief. We'll get you back up here again for approve the Libby Police Department to request funds from the county for opioid settlement fund to purchase a spectrometer.
Yes. So the opioid funds comes from the successful prosecution of cases involving opioids. A lot of those funds get pushed back into a couple of different tiers, regional funds, and then down to county funds. So those ones specifically I've requested is through county funds for the purchase of the spectrometer, the Apex R7. What that is it's a very, very fancy computer that fires a very fancy laser, which then tells me exactly what that drug is. So current practice is we take those drugs and we put them into a little tiny container, we drop different chemicals on it, and then that changes colors. And then depending on how good your eyesight is with colors, you have to determine what drug that is. Downside to that is you're exposing yourself to those drugs every time that you're doing that. With a massive increase in fentanyl, we want to do that as little as possible. Nice part about spectrometers is that will function through plastic. So if I've got a little plastic baggie, I don't even have to open it. I can just use it to scan it, and it'll tell me exactly what that chemical breakdown is and what it is. So it keeps it a lot safer for us as we're searching for drugs. It allows us to identify it, and it helps the crime lab from having to get an obscene amount of drugs that they can't identify without some sort of direction. If we just send them, hey, here's this white substance, we don't know what it is, they can't test for it because they don't know what they're looking for. This helps narrow that down. Same thing, it also can detect explosive materials, so if we get any kind of calls regarding bomb threats, anything like that, we can test the area and figure out if there is any kind of validity to that without popping things open or waiting about 5 hours for the bomb squad to show up from Spokane, Washington. So it's a great tool. We can take it out into the field. So if there's any case like that, we can use that to identify things instead of having to expose ourselves to it or ruin that evidence in itself. So it's a great tool for us. It's about $33,000. We'd love to ask opioid funds to pay for it.
Perfect.
If you approve.
Any council questions? Any public comment? Hearing no public comments, I'll call for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve Libby Police Department request funds from the county for the opioid settlement fund to purchase a spectrometer to radar drugs.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Get them applied for, Chief.
Sir.
Good job.
Next item on the agenda is approve all claims received to date. Everyone's had a chance to review those now, with the exception of Mr. Zimmerman.
Make a motion, we approve all claims received to date.
Second.
Any council discussion? Any public comment on claims? So I'll entertain a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Perfect. Claims are approved. We don't have any unfinished business. General comments from the council.
Welcome to February. January took 900 days.
There you go. Any other comments?
I attended the Chamber of Commerce's banquet last Friday at the Memorial Center, and the heat was working, and it was very nice.
There you go. Perfect. Any other council comments? So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. We are adjourned.